Hello, everyone. Great day, viewers. My name is Isioma Success Olugbenga, and this is the Impact Life Show. Again, today we are every day here to inspire you to make impact, inspiring everyday people to make everyday impact. It's my pleasure today to be on the show with you. If you are on Facebook and YouTube, please let us know. It's important that we know that you're watching and you're learning and you're being inspired. Today, like we said, we're going to have on the show an amazing person. She is the founder of the Dolly Children Foundation. She's doing an amazing work of impact. On the show today, we hope that she would inspire us with her story of impact. So join me today as I invite on the show an amazing, wonderful lady, Mrs. Adedolapo Osuntuyi.
Wow.
Hello, sis. Great
Yeah.
to have you on the show.
Hello, everyone.
It's so important to me to have to see that your face again.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Well done.
It's good to have you here. Yes, thank you very much.
We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and today, like we do on this show, we will be inspiring people to make everyday impacts with their lives. We're optimistic that as people watch this show, they would be spurred up by the stories and all of the things that they hear, and they would make impact also with their lives. So anyone sitting on the fence, I'm hoping that Mrs. Adedolapo's story would push you off the fence today, and you would go and change your world with that little thing that you think is little but is mighty, available to you by God to make impact in the nations. Thank you, madam, for being here today. It's a little awkward because you are much more to me like a sister. I have watched your impact all these years. You are such an inspiration, and
Wow.
walking the journey with you all these years has been so inspiring, even for me. And
Thank
so
you.
today
Thank
we
you.
are hoping that you would do that, you do justice to us all by inspiring us
Yeah.
again with your story. So today,
Yeah, thank
let's
you very
come
much.
to this. Mrs. Adedolapo, I'll just read her profile very quickly. Um,
Okay.
Mrs. Adedolapo. Okay, so before we do that, 1 minute before we do that, we want you to know that weekly, every week we are on this show, every week, every Tuesday. Starting from last week, we would be on this show, and we are hoping to bring on various people that can inspire us on making impact. Our current series is the Chronicles of Impact series, and we would be interviewing some of our friends and our wonderful people that we know over the years have been making impact. We'll be inviting a lot of beautiful minds. And this is just not about nonprofits. We know, and we also are confident that there are loads of businesses. I know a lot of them, making impact with whatever they're doing. They are social innovators. They are making impact with their businesses, and they're not just making profits. They are also making impact. So we'll be having a lot of those people on this show. So, like we also say, impact on this show is really a big deal for us. Like the name of the show says, Impact Live, the Impact Live show. We are hoping that everyone that watches this show, whatever level of impact that you are, this show would inspire you to do more and even to do what you have not even done before. Um, we we are aware there are various types of impact, and we know that certain areas of impact may be negative. Some people have made impact negatively, but we also know that there are amazing people doing amazing things in our nation, in our continent, and globally. And so we would celebrate those people, and we would make sure that you are inspired on this show as you watch every Tuesday. So again, like we said, we'll just bring up our guest. I think she's having some network issues, so um, we'll find out what that is, and we'll bring her up. I'm sure she's coming up soon. Just hold on a moment. You'll have her back soon. You can follow us on our YouTube handle. Please type the Made for Impact Network, and you would have the YouTube handle come up to you, so you can click on it, or check on all our publicity materials. You would find specific link that takes you to YouTube, so you can join and rewatch this session, whether on our page or on the YouTube channel. So while we wait for Mr. Adedolapo to come back on the show, we'll just take very quickly her profile.
Okay.
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
Well, so we'll take our profile.
I think the internet. Yeah.
Yes, we know. It's not uncommon in our country, so we know that it happens. But we'll just be patient, because indeed today we are intending to learn a lot from you. So we are patient to take in all the juices, everything that you have for us today. So I was about to read your profile, and it's a very impressive profile, but I'll just I'll make it very brief, because I want the juice of this program to be received by our viewers. But also, it's important that I speak about your profile, because it's quite impressive, the work that you have done over the years.
Okay.
So Adedolapo Osuntuyi is the founder of the Dolly Children Foundation, a non-profit organization which focuses on inspiring the African child to adopt the 21st century skills through education, capacity building, and advocacy programs. Her deep passion for empowering children from low-income backgrounds to achieve equal opportunities were born out of her personal childhood experiences her dad faced due to lack of basic needs. Her work in the foundation has led, where she leads the organizational strategy and management, has impacted over 22,000 children in 25 communities in Lagos and Ogun states. Dolapo has over 14 years experience in child protection, early childhood and community development programs. She received an African American scholarship to study social sector management course at the Enterprise Development Center, Pan-African University, Nigeria. She's a graduate of botany from Lagos State University, and holds a master's degree in child health and social care from the prestigious University of Central Lancashire, Preston, United Kingdom. Recently, Dolapo was recognized as one of the 50 African women in development, and has received several awards and nominations, including a Community Service Award from Enugu State Government. In 2017, she became the Fellow of the Young African Initiative West African Regional Center, a U.S. government initiative, and a recipient and one of the best 3 awardees of our cohort at the Women in Business and Public Service, WIMBIS. She works with public schools and private schools, and facilitates core competencies in policy making, child behavioral development and educational management. She also serves as the board of a very great school that, and also is the moms coordinator of the Social Good Lagos, an initiative of the United Nations Foundation. Dolapo believes that every child is a star and has chosen to play her part in ensuring that no child is left behind because of race, class, and ethnicity. That is such a
Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant, brilliant work, Dolapo. And
Thank
today
you
we
very
want
much.
you to truly inspire us. Your work, I have personally, been seen and observed your work over the years, and I'm so impressed at what you have done all these years. I'm super proud of you.
Thank
You
you.
know that.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
so today we want you to tell us who is Dolapo. We know we have read a profile, but now we want to know you. We want to experience Dolapo firsthand. So who is Dolapo? Tell us.
Okay. Good day, everyone. It's good to be here, and I feel it's a great honor for me to be one of the pioneer guests on this show. Dolapo is a very easygoing woman. She's a mother of two. She's a blessed wife to a great man, and I Dolapo is someone that loves helping people, most especially children. She's so drawn to children, and it's so funny that I'm talking about Dolapo as if Dolapo is another person out there. But I'm someone that I just have this special interest in children, most especially children in low-income communities that that lack access to education. I love. I found myself mentoring children. I found myself having children who, you know, they share their heart with me, such that something that even maybe they've never shared with anyone in their lives. I'm like, wow. So I guess this is one of the blessings for me in this my journey so far with children. So that's one of, and then for me personally, I love connecting with people. I'm someone that when I meet someone for the first time, be it someone on the field, or a child out there, I try to want to get to know the person more better, even without really having a deep conversation. And I'm someone that don't give up on people. So I think I will just make it short like that. Yes. Thank you.
So I want to draw that all of this, your personal qualities, are the
Right.
things that brought you into the work that you're doing. Because
Yeah.
yes, there's a saying that uh, a fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree, or something like that. An apple will not fall too far from the tree. And so some of these are personal qualities, are the things that add up sometimes, to our
Yeah.
living a life of impact. So because we are
Yeah.
going to draw back to, how do you even know that, you are drawn to this thing? What is it? How do you begin to define? We are coming to it. Don't let us run beyond,
Yeah.
where we want to
Yeah.
go. So I just want
Yeah.
to ask, you talked about your foundation is in childcare and all of that. Did you already
Yeah.
know that, before you went to study? I know you have a foundation in botany, and I'm sure about that time you had no clue. So at what point of your life did you begin to really perceive that this life work is what you are supposed to be doing?
Okay. For me, I think when I started botany was not even the course I wanted to do.
Mm,
Just like every young girl out there, I really wanted to be a medical doctor. Like, is everybody wants to be a medical doctor. So when wrote JAM for like 3 times, and I realized, oh, it's like the JAM kept jamming me every time. I'm like, okay, even if I don't get to study um, medicine, okay, I will go for a medical related course. So my name came out in school for botany and microbiology. And before I got to the place where they pasted it, I couldn't find the list for the microbiology, and we needed to make payments on that day. So the list has been turned because of, I guess, some students were angry that their name didn't come out, and so I had to settle for botany. And so when I started botany was a journey that I never planned to go for. And then because I remember those days, I have friends that call me herbalist, like plant herbalist, you know. They call me plant herbalist at home. That our life is all about leaves and all that. I think, to
Yeah.
be sincere, I started loving botany when I was in 400 level. And that was
Mm.
when, because I had to do practical work, I went into deep research about the plants, the food that we eat, the fruits, and all that. And then it was in the course of that journey, like I guess when I was in year two, that I knew that yes, I'm not going to settle down for botany. I knew botany was just a part for me in the process of me discovering myself. And around that time, I had other projects coming up that I do. Like I remember vividly, because like I said, like in the profile you read, um, I was a student. I had my first degree in Lagos, botany in Lagos State University. So I remember whenever I'm going to school, I'm
Yeah.
always seeing children on the long expressway, that Lagos Badagry expressway. I've seen a day old baby there. I've seen
Wow.
babies that are not meant to be exposed there. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing here? And they are really begging as if their life depends on anything anyone gives. So, and also coupled with that experience is the experience of my dad. And I remember him telling his story. You said I should not go there now. Maybe you're asking that later.
No, 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 no.
The
You can
story.
talk about
Okay.
that because that's where you're
Okay.
building
Yes.
your business.
Yes. So, like my dad, I remember because when I was in secondary school, I was in boarding house all my life, and in one of those days that I came home after a junior WAEC, and I all my shoes had already were already too tight for me to wear and all that. So I remember just telling him jokingly that dad, I need a new shoe. I need a new set of shoe. And he was like, we were just laughing. He was like, oh, you children of nowadays, you need new
Children,
shoes. That was I won't lie to you. That was how the story started. I
mm,
I I can't forget that day. It started telling me a story about 9 p.m. and he didn't
mm,
finish telling me till 12 a.m. In fact, I
wow.
remember my mom coming out and was saying, "Oh, you people are still here. Okay, okay, go inside, go inside, go inside." And by the time he finished the story, he told me how he struggled, growing up to
Mm,
school, and how he fend for himself, how God really helped him. That to today, nobody can say, "Oh, I'm the one that actually I'm part of this," because he really worked himself, worked on
mm,
people's farms,
mm,
and while other children are going to school, they will be laughing at him. He had to help his mom, he had to help
mm,
be there for the sister and all that. So, and even after him, and then by the time they resume school and they had to do exam, he's always topping the class. And he said if not for the Awolowo's free education around that time, he wouldn't have been privileged. So he grew up, putting his best and working and all that. And then from there he traveled out. So I saw how he grew from nothing to
mm,
someone that he traveled out. He won various form of scholarships, and then from there, all his years in the university, he didn't pay for a dime because he was the best student every year. And so it's like, and then I have a personal friend too. And when I was
mm,
in school, and that I got to find out about his story, even though I'm so sure she doesn't know I know right now. And the experience she went through too was very, very, as a child, because of war and how they had to travel down to Nigeria, how she lost her parents, and all that. So I'm like, those were some of the
mm,
closest experience I had. And I'm like, oh, when I grow up, I have to
mm,
do something. God help me, I have to do something. So that was actually what propelled me, that in my own subconscious,
mm.
even if they give me money, maybe for my pocket money in school,
Yeah.
I remember I will be saving money to pay
Mm.
for children, people, my friends' examination fee, like GCE, WAEC. I'll pay for JAMB. So it's like I had another family in school, different from
Mm.
my family at home. So, and the joy that I see on people on their faces,
Mm.
when whatever they needed
Yeah.
come true for them is always it to me is fulfillment beyond money,
Wow.
fulfillment
Yeah.
beyond, so
Yeah.
that has actually, that's even how my journey started. Yes.
Wow. 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 Your journey is, like I said, your journey is really so inspiring. Imagine paying
Thank
jam
you.
jam money for, people while you were a student. I once
Yeah.
listened to a mentor, and she was saying that, she found out that very early she had that compassion for people,
Mm,
and so
mm,
that's something that's like an indicator sometimes of
mm,
what we are supposed to be doing. There's this
mm.
compassion to help people, and it's not like most people have compassion, but they're in degrees and they're in levels. There are some
Yeah.
compassion that you can say, okay, if I have something I can give this person, but there are some other ones that you like, even if you don't have, you're looking for how to borrow to make somebody happy.
Exactly.
You're looking for who to go
Exactly.
and beg to help somebody. So it doesn't
Mm,
mean anything to you to go and beg another person to help another person. It just is for you. It's like you need to do it. It was almost like a sense of duty. So sometimes
yeah.
those are the indicators that make you know that, okay, this thing is really for me. I've also said on this
Mm,
show that a lot of times, people are talking about compassion. We are talking about compassion and things you're drawn to. But sometimes it could even be things that you are angry about.
mm.
It could be
Correct.
something that you are so angry about, you just do not want to see this thing again. You're like, what? How can, just like so, you were drawn to help people, but at the same time, you were also angry about a situation, a
Yeah.
deprivation situation that you saw around you, because I like to
Mm,
draw that. Because sometimes it's not
mm.
even about what you love, it's about what you hate
Yeah.
to see. So what you
Yes.
hate to see can drive you to the impact
Mm,
that you are supposed to be making. So that's
mm.
something, just off the off the shelf,
Yeah.
for our viewers to take on. The next question I
Mm,
want to ask you is, why did you, because you've talked us the genesis of how you got here. So my question is,
yeah.
why did you even, what is the thing that, why did you even begin Dolly Children's Foundation? How did you get to,
Mm.
even, because to have a foundation is no small feat. I'm sure
Yes.
you, yeah, to have a
Yeah.
foundation is no small feat. So,
Yeah.
so I'm sure that there was a process and that you took between your passion and your desire to do this to even get into a place that you began to really take the steps to begin to, put together an initiative, get people that will be on the board of the foundation and all of that. How did you get into that space? Can you share that with our viewers today?
Okay. To be sincere, I started Dolly Children Foundation when I was in school. And
Ooh,
when I was in university, I was in 200 level too around that time.
wow.
And I remembered, yes, I remembered I was in the, we have a visiting pastor that normally comes and all that. So that day I was just around the chapel side of the chapel in my uni. And then he just looked at me. I was like, oh, you have a great gift that you should, I think you need to spend time praying and asking God for direction, and that is so evident that you can't run away from it. That was just the
Wow.
only thing he said. So I just said, okay, like I'm growing in my faith. I prayed about it. I read books like Mike Murdoch, What's Your
Mm-hmm.
Assignment? That
Mm-hmm.
book really helped me. And I'm always telling people to go and look for it, to get it, if they are a crossroad, about their assignment. So I got that book, and I think from there, in fact, he told me that, oh, that that children and charity and all that. It said it in one sentence, and that was what propelled me to say, okay, let me even find out. And mind you, I was in year two.
Okay, so
Even
while
though
you,
I 7 years.
okay,
So I used for a course of 4 years, because botany is 4 years. I used 7 years because of strike in Nigeria. Yes. So you can imagine I was in year two, and
yeah,
and I just felt that, you know what, I'm so passionate about me living a purposeful life. So I
yeah,
said, okay, that was what even propelled me. To be sincere, I went on internet. I remembered on Saturdays, I'll go to cyber cafe to go and research about how to set up an NGO.
Wow.
Okay, if it's children, the vision, the mission. I shared with my friends at that time in school. I remember every Friday, we always sit under a tree, to talk about it. We came up with seriously, we came up with a logo, and all the while that we were doing this, none of my family members knew about it.
Wow.
None, none. So, and from there we started projects. I remember the first project we even did. Okay, before I even jump at projects, I went to CAC about the name. You can imagine I was very skinny around that time. I had my friend's uncle that I approached, and he told me that okay, will help me. He knew someone in CAC, he introduced us to a lawyer, and then the process of registration, the money. They were wondering how will I get the money, but because of my upbringing and my desire for knowledge, around that time, I'm always saving 1/10 of every money that they give me at home. So to be sincere, the money we used to register Dolly Children Foundation was all the 1/10 I've been saving. And then I'm always every month inputting it in an investment account with my stockbroker. That's even the story for another day, because I can't even remember how I got to know the stockbroker. And so when it was time for us to register, it was from that fund that I would just tell them to sell a portion of the shares at that time to to be able to fund that particular. So that was how it started, and from there, I remember the first place we went to, even though we are not officially, because the registration was still ongoing, was Art of God upstairs at Surulere. And to
Okay.
be sincere, I have many, many stories to that. Because around that time, that was around the time Pastor Bimbo Dukoya died. And I am gifted in dreams. Yeah, I'm really blessed in dreams. So I remembered she came to me in my dream and she was asking me, oh, where's the money you've been saving all the while?
Hmm.
I think this is the first time I'm sharing it live with everyone. Now, where's the money you've been saving? Where's the money you've been saving all the while that you want to use to help those children? And I was so shocked because I saw her. I can describe what she was wearing, her hairstyle, the shirt. So I bought the money out. The money was just like a tiny little piece of paper, even though it
Wow.
was huge to my, in my own eye. So she collected it. And from there, I just realized that she looked at me and I saw new mints of money falling from my hands into my hands, you know.
Wow.
And when I got all, when I woke up, I'm like, even in the gym, I was telling the person beside me that, how can I be seeing Pastor Bimbo? She just passed on. She just passed
Hmm.
on. So I was aware, not that it was
Yeah.
maybe a fabricated. So that was even part of the experiences that really resolved. Okay, God, I
Hmm.
think you're serious about this. And so from there I went to Art of God upstairs. The money we kept saving around Christmas, they'll give
Hmm.
us hamper in my
Hmm.
auntie's house. So I would, all the coke, the bottle of cokes, anything they give me like provision, I'll be
Yeah.
saving it. I'll be saving. So I told a few of my friends. There's even one, her name Bukola, and so she too. She was really, so that God really set her up for me that time, and she
Hmm.
saved. She gave me all the money she saved over the Christmas, together with
Wow.
the money I saved with the provisions and all that. So that was all what we used together, and we bought all. In fact, when the woman that founded Art of God up to saw me, she was like, "Wow, what made you to do all this?" I was not like,
Hmm.
I now shared a dream I had about Pastor Bimbo, and now I've been having different experiences about this is what I've been called to do. And she was like, wow. She prayed for me, and she said even one of these days she wishes that she would go and visit Pastor Taiwo and with the
Wow.
children. So that was how we started, and from there we started going. We visited SOS, and mind you, when I was in school, I have friends from SOS too that
Yeah.
they grew up in SOS. So that's their experiences
Oh, okay.
also added up to mine. They
Hmm.
never knew that whenever I hear about their story, it's really
Yeah, it's
giving me
inspiring.
another experience.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's how we started. Even from Lasso, we traveled down to Ogun State. We hired bus. We visited refugee camps. We visited
Hmm.
public schools. places that even I'm so sure my parents will be shocked that I visited. I visited. In fact, one experience I will never forget was when we started. We were in school, and because I'm always seeing those children begging for food, so I told my friends, even my hostel mates. So we gathered all the money we had on us, So we bought rice, fish, we cooked overnight. And then early in the morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning, we went on the street. We started giving them food and water, and immediately we finished, we went into our classes. So there was one day, one of my lecturers saw me. I was like, where are you coming from with this teacher? I've been seeing these t-shirts all over the campus. Now, who is the one in charge? I was just praying that I should not pray for them because I don't want him to know I'm the one in charge, So that's how we started. And from there, and then whenever we help children, the feedback, and to be sincere, I believe that when you give out value will always come back to you. People keep asking me that, okay, so how did you not get money to do this project? In fact, there was a day my dad asked me, because he's a retired accountant. It's like, how do you get all this money? I said, that I don't know. I just realized that we'll pray that God just send, and someone will just. In fact, it has really been of immense help to me. He will never know, because he will just call me and say, you know what, I'm just so happy today, and I feel like blessing you. You could imagine. I was like, oh, thank God. There was no money he sent to me. That was what we used for the t-shirts in school. He didn't know anything. And, I think, how did he even get to know? Someone, maybe my auntie and the husband just say, you don't know what your daughter is doing in school, That's how they got to know. I mean, they never knew anything because I kept it private. I had a very big family in school. So that was how we started. And from there, we were visiting schools. We had a calendar. We had months that we know we focus on food and clothing. We had days months, like the first quarter food and clothing, second quarter education, last quarter shelter. So that was what motivated, guided us, on the places we were to go, whether it's going to be orphanages, whether it's going to be public school, whether it's going to be. So let me leave it at that, so that you can actually.
Thank you so much. I can actually leave you to take over the show, because your story is really so inspiring. And I'm sure our guests are having a very good time, just listening to you.
Thank you.
I need you to, you've given us a backstory. What does Jolly Children Foundation? Because I know that you have moved from what it used to be to what it is now. There's so much you're doing now, and I remember, that. At one of the trainings that we had, you were very eager to move your work to the next level, and I in the last couple of years I've seen you do that, and I've seen great value come back to your foundation, because you decided to go stretch yourself beyond the regulars, and do more. It's not because you had so much, because that's also one of the things that people do not understand, that you don't do more because you have so much. You do more because you decide to stretch beyond a particular capacity that you have been used to, and that is when you actually cut it with a lot of people. And like I say, it's one thing for you to have a vision. The point where Dolapo's vision becomes the vision of everyone else is where people begin to really find value in what you do and support what you're doing. So I want you to tell us tell us about the next 10 minutes. Tell us about what you're doing now with Jolly Children's Foundation, and how much impact that has sprung out for the foundation now.
Okay. So currently, right now, we work with children in marginalized community, children in low-income communities, and many of them, to be sincere, like, if I really want to put a value to it, like an estimate to it, should I say 99% of them are children from low-income families that are even at the brink of dropping out of school, and or even many have even dropped out of school. I've seen children. I've seen children that they are now, maybe they've stopped going to school for years, 5 years, 6 years, and they still desire to go to school. So we work with public schools, public primary schools, and we do through our intervention. We do reading clubs with them. We do um, after school program. We do free summer tutoring program, back to school. We do exchange programs for them, school exchange program by taking them out, and I will just quickly explain, briefly what all this program is all about. Like for the reading club, we realize that some of the children in these communities that even for year 5 or basic 5 cannot even say any phonetic, they can't make any phonetic sound, let alone
Sounds.
even recognize A, B, C, D. So we're
True.
like, wow, how are we going to even start from? So that was
True.
even what propelled us to start with the reading club. And then, to be sincere, there are many sides to this story, but I remember the community we even started. We've been doing it all over the community, but we were like one of the communities that really even helped us to change, helped us to scale up was Magboro, and by the time we got to Magboro, one of the schools there, they um but I don't really know how to start. But really, the state of the structures were very bad
Yeah.
and all that. So we started from that community, and we are like, okay, instead of us trying to say we don't have that big money to say we want to upgrade the school structure, okay, let's start with literacy. So when we started with reading club, from reading club, it grew to sponsorship because we
Mm.
realized that after each term, the number of
Mm.
children that resumed back to school was just, were just
Wow.
reducing. So that was what led us to say, okay, you know what, let's start with sponsorship. And from sponsorship, we had people saying, you know what, I really love what you're doing. Can I be a part of, can I sponsor a child through your foundation? So we gave them that opportunity. They have the personal relationship with the children, they exchange letters and all that. And we give them progress report per term, per quarter, even per academic year, So, and so
Yeah.
from sponsorship, it led to, well, we do after school. And why we do after school program is because my experience in the UK made me to even study how the welfare system in UK is structured. And I realized that some of these children, they are always having after school, you see them in their uniforms, working on farm, helping people
Yeah.
out, working as entrepreneurship, well, as an apprentice with
Entrepreneurs.
and some, with people, and they won't get back home until 11 p.m. So please tell me, if a child went to school and from there walked to like 11 p.m. before he or she gets home, what time will he or she will have with his or her studies? So that's why we introduced the after school program, such that any child we bring on our plan, on our program, even before the caregiver or the parents agree to say, okay, we would like to have this child on one of our programs. It's part of
Yeah.
something they will have to sign, that,
Yeah.
that's part of their own
Yeah.
side, that the conditions that they have to fulfill. So they
True.
do that. And what again they do is that, we have, at least in a school term, we have a stakeholders meeting with them, just to let them know that we know what we give them updates on the
Mm.
children, their dressing, they're always wondering, how did we get all those data, So we have a stakeholders meeting, which helps us to make them more accountable, that those children will not miss school, even whether their parents are late, or they're staying with them as caregivers, or even housemaid. So from there we started school exchange program, because we realize most of us, the students, have never in their life,
Gone to
going to
some
school.
private schools. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even go out. They don't even know what is going on. So I'm wondering, how can these children, maybe in years to come,
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
stand shoulder to shoulder with their
Yes.
contemporaries in other country?
Contemporaries.
So
Yes.
so we started the school exchange program. I remember the first day, the first time we took them out was when we took them to ShopRite, and
Wow.
everybody knew that, yes, we bought some people, because when they wanted to even use the elevator, the way they do it, I'm like, but for me, at the end of it, I remembered even afterwards that we were asking them, doing an assessment on the some of our programs that really touched them, has really really impacted them. most of all the programs, even the school exchange programs, were some of the things that they always, mention. And quickly, I also want to pick them. I like the fact that during our reading clubs, although we have a curriculum that we follow, we also try to celebrate international days that focus on children education and literacy. And so when we have special projects like Children's Day, we don't leave it only to children in public schools. We try to organize a community-based program whereby children in public school will interact with private school. So, and the reason we did that is because we noticed the gap that exists between public and private schools. Public schools will only invite public school when they have events. Private school will only
Yes.
invite private school when they have events. So we are trying to bridge that gap. And I
Mm-hmm.
remembered even after some of our programs that we do assessment and ask the children, they're like, oh, when they went to that particular program, then when they came for that particular program that we organized, they realized that, that they've just been living their life in a way they shouldn't, that they were challenged to work on themselves, how they present themselves, to ensure that they wear clean uniforms,
Yeah.
comb their hair, and all that. So I'm happy that, programs like that is really
That's
even
really,
change here. So, and then what
yes.
we do again, we through our summer tutoring program, we do free summer for them, like 4 to 6 weeks. Yes, and we
Oh,
did this. We started this because when we were doing all this program, like all the programs I'm mentioning, and we didn't start at once. When we
yeah.
noticed a gap, it's while working on it that will lead to that. We realized that during summer, it's only private schools, like in the states that we cover, like where most of all the community we cover, it's only private schools that they have like like a plan that they
Yeah.
have summer program. The public school pupils that we've worked with so far, there's nothing like that. And these are children that are in those vulnerable communities that they're easy targets of child abuse, rape,
Yes.
and all the like. So what
Mm-hmm.
we do is that, because by profession, because of my master program, I'm a social worker. So what I realized is that based on my research, most of all the children that are sexually abused is during after school hours and during vacation. So
Vacation.
in order to bridge that gap, that's why we started the free summer tutoring program. So we used it. The first one we even did, we invited the children that didn't do well in their school exams that we were aware of, working in a relationship with the school. We have a good relationship with the school. So we got to know some of these children. We invited them for the summer. And
Wow.
some of the children, all the children that are on our sponsorship. So then we get teachers that we are the one that pay for them, to
Mm-hmm.
train them, to teach them. And then we realize that some of these children, to be sincere, even during school hours, they don't do anything like qualitative qualitative verbal reasoning, all those
Quantitative.
subjects.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got to know that it's because they can't afford to pay for those textbooks. So during our summer, we try to focus on subjects like that, entrepreneurship classes, and any other subjects, main subjects that they're having issues with. And then we try to also involve we have skill volunteers that partners with us, and we have
Wow.
people that come to talk to them about child body safety. We have educational games like board games, something that will promote, and then we hand it up. Yeah, maybe the last day we give them the basic school need that they will need for the next term, and then we'll take them out on the excursion. So at the end
Wow.
of it, with all these experiences, the children experiencing this during summer program, by the time they come back to school, they are
They are
coming to school
much
because
better. Yes.
they are much better. And then that has really helped us to limit, with my team, it has helped us to reduce their risk to all this sexual, and all that. So,
Vices.
and then, yeah, social vices. And then what we do again is that we do teachers training, because we realize that we've been focusing on all the children, but what of the teachers? When last did they even go for training? So,
Yes.
and then I realized that some of the very fantastic educators that we've worked over the years. We realize that we have private schools, even in the communities that we work with, that always love to be part of the program because of the quality of educators that comes on our platform, to train the public school teachers. So, and that was even though we didn't plan it, it also gives that platform
Yes.
whereby a public school teacher interacts with a private school
The
teacher,
private school
and
teacher,
then
they can.
yes, yes, and
Fantastic.
in fact, yeah, last year I remember when we did we normally do like Children's Day, like I mentioned. Then we started this school CSR participation project, whereby we wrote letters to private schools telling them to give us a certain number of pupils from their school, and then we told them we were the one that initiated it, that they must give back to a public primary school in their neighborhood. We are actually inculcating that art of giving back, because whenever they see me, they'll say, Auntie, oh, it's Children's Day. What are you going to give us? What are you going? I'm like, okay, it's Children's Day. Yes,
Yeah.
we expectedly you get something, but you have something that you can give back. That's it
You
doesn't
see,
have to be big.
at this point, I really, you are hitting the chord for me, because
Okay.
it's that balance that we are trying to create, the balance
Mm,
of people thinking that they don't have, or what do I have,
mm,
what can I give,
mm,
who am I,
mm,
what do I know, what can I offer.
mm,
It's that place of
mm,
actually helping people to recognize that you don't necessarily have to have everything. There is something
yeah.
in it. If you check properly, there is something that you have. It might not even be
Mm,
money. It might be a
mm-hmm.
voice. It might be it might be the fact that XYZ person, and if you talk to XYZ person, perhaps they can help. I'll just share a little experience, and I'm very mindful of
Okay.
our time. I remember
Yeah.
very many years ago, I think about 12 to 15 years ago, there was a particular girl that I wanted to support, at that time, but I didn't have so much. And
Mm,
she was around my neighborhood at the time. And I was
mm,
thinking of, how do I support this girl? So I
yeah.
generally, I knew that this is what I have also done most part of my life. I'm a social entrepreneur. For people that don't know, now I'm a social entrepreneur. Yes, and I do a lot of things in the development sector. I'm a development expert too. So generally, I wanted to help this girl, and I couldn't at the time with the resource that I had. And so I reached
Okay.
out to someone that knows me well, because it's another thing. Sometimes when you are trying to make impact and you do not have all that you need, the first set of people
Mm,
are the people that know you well, because those are
yeah.
the people that can actually vouch for your credibility. Those are the people that can say, yes, this person can do this and this person can do that. If I give this person this resource, this person will be able to deploy it properly. And so that
Mm,
the man at the time had worked with me on a particular project, and he was willing. In fact, before by the time I sent him the school bills, he was like, no, I want this girl to go to, are there no more expensive private schools around there? I want her to go. And so to it, what I thought I had that was not enough, I got someone that took the bill from me and
can you
sponsored this
imagine?
girl. Yes, sponsored this girl until she finished secondary school. This girl today runs a
Mm,
business. She's married. I went for a wedding 2 years ago. She's
can
married,
you
and
imagine?
incidentally, this last weekend, she sent me something, a key holder that had my image and everything. And I just looked at it and I just smiled. I'm like, this is someone, sometimes it's just to buttress the fact that sometimes it's not, you don't necessarily have to have money. You can know
Yeah.
someone that can help some other person. You can become
Yes.
the bridge that helps other people. So or if we do not even come to the place where we want to do something, when our heart desires to do something, then we will really not actually take that step, because it all starts from
Mm,
within us. It starts from who we are
yeah.
and how we see things. There are so many issues
Mm,
around us, but some of us can see it as a problem that bothers us. Some of us can see it as, these people are just creating, they are just being a nuisance. Some of us see
yeah.
differently. It's all about how we
Mm,
see. Delapo talks about
mm,
how she was going to school and how she would see these young children. She could as well as just pass them and said, why do they just give birth to children and they are just everywhere, messing up everywhere? Because yes, those are some of the conversations some of us have. But beyond those conversations, we need to think again. These children are already born. What do you do with them? They become our greatest problem when we do not take the step to do what we need to do. So
yeah.
that's generally, by the way. I want you to touch on the fact that, and I like the fact that you said, um, you know, You were telling your young students that you too can do something. You too have
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
So I
Exactly.
want you to tell what do you think everyone can actually make impact? Because yes, that's the conversation we are having, but I want you to tell us, what do you think? Do you think, a lot of people, when we see things today, it looks like so daunting. How do you take that first step? How do you even begin? Do you
Yeah.
think that this impact is for everyone? Do you think we are all in that place, rich, poor, whatever status we are able to make impact? Can you talk on that?
Okay, yes. Everyone has something to give. And because
Fantastic.
God, when God created us, God didn't leave us empty.
True.
Everyone has something to give. And I will share a story. And why I said a story is because I think when people connect more with stories, than me just saying it, and they'll think, oh, it's so
Can you
easy,
do that? Can
she's
you do
saying,
that for us in 1 minute? Because our time is fast spent
okay.
and we need to go. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I remembered when I was 7, and I was posted to a village,
Mm.
deep village in Enugu State,
Yeah.
Amechi Dodo local government. I still remember the name vividly well. And this is a community that when I was there for a year, there was no water, there was no electricity. Even for me to go out, to the town, I need to think well, because I can't trek to the to the expressway, So, and I remember when I got there, there are schools there, but it's very, very scattered all over. But it's a very wild place, So at the end of it, no, now let me just be humorous, because I sometimes I had that to tell you how I was so involved in this environment. I counted that they had 9 mad men. That, whenever I see them on the way, I'll just enter the bush. They call me on one teacher around that time, because by 4 o'clock you can't get across to me again, because there was no network where I stay. But what I'm trying to say now is that when I got to that community and I see the children, they walk barefooted to school. I didn't
Yeah.
have, how much were they paying us at that time? I think I said 2007, and we are in 2020. That's 13 years ago. So how much were they paying us? So I told my friends about it. They were like, oh, there's no money, there's no money. I kept praying, and I remembered, oh, I have some shares that I'm always saving up and all that. I called my stockbroker in Lagos. Oh, I need some money. I need you to sell some of my shares and all that. And with little money here and there, it's not as if I won a grant. I was able to get enough school standards for these children when they resumed. And with my friends, they came over, they helped me to share, and I just took pictures. That was it. And I remembered when we were passing out, our headline called me that, oh, you are in this forgotten village, that what, did you even do any project? I said I did. So are you serious? I said I did, and I gave her, because she was like, whoa, wow, so you did all these things. You could have told us. They can invite, they would have invited NYC coordinator, they will invite the NTA. They said, they told me all the people they could have invited, and they sent all the pictures and details to Abuja. When we were passing out, where I was honored, I was given
Wow.
an award for my community service. And that's even aside me paying for someone that is in a tertiary institution without even the people around me knowing. So
Mm.
it's out of the money I save, just little. There's a way the little you have,
Yes.
goes a long way in transforming someone's life. To them is a million, is a
Yeah.
billion. But you
Yeah.
just take that first step. Anyone
Mm.
that is going to help you in achieving that purpose, they are just nearby, waiting for you
Yeah.
to just take the first step before
Great.
God connects you with them. That's
Great,
just my
great,
belief.
great, great,
Yeah.
great. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you very much.
I want you to encourage someone that is trying to help children, because I say on the
Okay.
show that we are all collaborators on this work. And so
Yeah.
you're here today talking about how you're supporting children and helping children. Someone can think
Yeah.
and say that she's already doing it. What can I do? Can you just
Mm-hmm.
encourage someone that needs to do something for children, needs to do something? Can you just say a word in encouragement? And yeah.
Yeah. I just want to tell anyone out there that um you don't need to hold back anymore. You don't need to hold back.
Yes.
Just take the first step. Just take the first step. And if you feel, oh, are you adequate enough to take this step? Prayerfully connect with someone that you can share your burden with. And
Fantastic.
just just connect to someone that can, because I've had times that I felt like giving up. But whenever
Mm.
I go into my secret closet And it's just the reason why I started, that has kept me consistent all these years. And you never know. If you don't try it, you will not even know what you can do. You will not know
Yeah.
the places God can take you. This dream can take you, and
Mhm.
even the children that will be inspired. Just
Yeah.
a quick one. We've had children right now that we have partnering schools, private schools, that are not sponsoring some of the children that we assisted. They're the one
Mhm.
responsible. Assuming we didn't do this, I don't think we could have even planted smiles on the faces of those children. So I
That's it.
believe that there's a world of children waiting for you out there. Don't give up. They are waiting. Just take that first step. Just take that
Thank
plunge,
you
and
so, so much.
you can always
Yes.
connect with Made for Impact.
Yeah.
Send them DM. They will always tell you, guide you on the next step to take. That's just my
Thank
word for
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank
Yes,
you.
she just said it.
Thank you.
Yes, at Made for Impact,
Thank
we
you.
are all for helping, connecting people. We are a bridge between those that require the support. You want you to hold. I'm a life impact coach, so if you want me to hold your hand through
Mm-hmm.
this impact, I've worked with Dolako before, and I still work with her
Yeah.
because she's my sister. So there's a lot that we do together, and I know that someone
Okay.
watching today probably is thinking, how do I support her? She's done so much. How do I help you? Can you tell us how they can help, how they can support you? Yeah. How they can support
Okay.
Dolly Children
Well,
Foundation.
okay, they can always connect with us through our social media pages, and then through our website. That we have our contacts there. Just you can send us a DM, and someone will get across to you immediately. Yes. And then you can
Thank
also volunteer. You can
Yes.
volunteer, so the what
Yes.
we
Yes.
need you.
Yes.
We need
Yes.
you. Thank you
Okay,
very
we
much.
are just rounding up. We are rounding up the show right about now. Thank you for watching. I appreciate everyone that came up the show. If you have questions for
Thank you.
Dolako, please send us a DM so that we can send your questions to her. And we promise that the next time we are meeting, we would answer those questions straight from Dolako's mouth before we get into the show. Remember,
Yeah.
this show is about inspiring everyday people to make everyday impact. We believe that we can and we will support all that, all what God wants us to do here. We know that everyone has something that they have come here to give, and we are determined to
Yeah.
inspire people to live their best and not to go out of the
Yeah.
world the same way that they came to the world. So we want you to die empty. It's our mission that you
Yeah.
must die empty. You must give up everything,
Yeah.
just like Adedolapo is
Mm.
doing. Make sure that you
Yeah.
leave out everything you have on your inside, so that the humanity will be blessed with everything that God has given you to bless us. Till we come your way next time. My name is Isioma Success Olubenga, and I say again to you, leave your impact. Bye for now. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs.
Bye.
Adedolapo. It's my pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming. All right. Bye
Thank
bye,
you. Thank
viewers.
you.
See you. Please replay, watch again. Please like our Facebook page. When you see the broadcast, reshare the broadcast, let people know about it, and come in again next time, next Tuesday, when we meet again at 12 p.m., 12 noon. Thank you very much for showing up today. And thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Dedelapo, for
Thank
coming up the show. Regards to your
thank you.
family. Thank you. And all the
Thank you.
children. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.